Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick review of the Surefire forend with a built-in light. So, before I do anything, of course, I'm going to safety check this weapon. Nothing in the chamber, magazine's empty, the weapon's clear. So when I got this forend, I got a really good deal from Midway USA. I got this forend for $200, brand new. It was a closeout sale. They were getting a new model, and they were trying to sell these ones. This is the older one that has the gray right here, which I really liked. I really wanted that, the two-tone look. And this one here isn't as bright as the new model, but honestly, it's bright enough for home defense. You don't need, you don't need something to give the home intruder a suntan. So I really like this forend. It's really instinctive to use. So the way this works, in case you don't know, this whole area right here is a pressure switch. Right there, that's a pressure switch. So anywhere I push on here, and it lights up. So for a right-handed user, you just grab it and it'll turn on. For a left-handed user, it'll still turn on because that is right where your thumb goes. Or if you're just using the shotgun left-handed at the moment. You could even use your palm if you put your palm that high. So the pressure switch obviously is for momentary on or just the obvious instinctive on, because you hold it, if you're holding it tight, obviously it's going to stay on. The buttons on the left side of the forend is for constant on. So if you take and push the forward one right here, now it's constantly on. And if you press the rear one, it turns it back off. So you want it in the off position when using the momentary, because if you have it in the on position, obviously it's going to be constantly on, and the momentary won't work then, because it's going to be constantly on. Now, these buttons on the left side of the forend, right here, these are the master on and off switches. So the forward one is to turn it on. The rear one is to turn it off. So if I push the rear one, as you can see, the forend isn't turning on until I push the button right here, and now it turns on again. If you have the constant on actuated and you press the master off, it will turn the entire light off. And then you just have to press it again, and it'll go back on, and then you just have to go over here and turn it off. I really like the positioning of these buttons because the nice thing about them is, number one, these ones are up and out of the way. So it's not likely that you're going to press these on accident. And then with the forward ones right here, you can basically just do this with your thumb to turn it on and off. The first issue I had with this forend when I first got it was basically my fault. This here was a closeout item, and it was made for the short tubes. It wasn't made for the long tubes. So when I put it on there, it was moving forward and backwards. So what I did was simply, I contacted Surefire and I told them what my problem was, and they just sent me a little adapter. So it's a little piece of metal, about this big, obviously basically like a pipe, and it goes on there. It's machined for the gun and for the nut right here, and it takes up that space. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. The newer ones have the shorter flashlights. This one here is longer. It doesn't bother me. I'm just fine with the longer flashlight. One nice thing about this forend is because of its shape, as you can see, this helps with mitigating recoil. And also, when correctly using a shotgun, the left hand should be pushing while the right hand pulls. So pull, push. Pulling in, pushing out. And that's the way it works. Well, because of this shape, it makes it really easy to do that. The other nice thing about the shape is because of its shape, when recoiling back, it actually helps, for me personally, with mitigating recoil. It helps counteract the recoil of the shotgun. This gray area right here is ribbed. As you can see, it has ridges for grip. The other nice thing about this shape is it basically works as a hand stop. So from here, if you're worried about your hand accidentally slipping off the forend and going onto the barrel with this here, that's not going to happen, because as you can see from this shape, it won't allow the hand to go forward. But this forend still gives plenty of room for the hand. As you can see, I have pretty large hands. I can wear anywhere from a large to an extra large glove. And as you can see, I still have plenty of space right there. Even if I were wearing gloves, this would still give me plenty of room, even if they were thick winter gloves. So here it is, as you can see, with some really thick gloves on. So there, as I said, there's plenty of room for a gloved hand, even if it's thick gloves, even thick winter gloves, because these are basically my winter gloves. Another thing I like about this forend is it is made in America. That is, personally to me, very important. I like things that are made in America. And on this shotgun, everything is made in America. I've made sure to have everything on here made in America. Now, the only real cons about this forend is, number one, they don't sell the two-tone anymore. So if you like this look with the black and the gray, they don't sell that anymore. The current ones are all black. So if that's important to you, then you might have to go and look for a used one. But if that's not important to you, then obviously the new ones will be fine. Now the new ones, from my understanding, are 400 lumens. These older ones are 200 lumens. 200, as I said, is still more than enough for a home defense situation. The batteries are CR123s, and the way that you change them is you have to unscrew the flashlight, just like this. And then from here, there's the batteries. And there is 2 CR123s. There is an O-ring on there as well to make this more water resistant. Only other thing really to note about this forend is if you have, say, the 590A1 with the bayonet lug, when you have this on there, from my understanding, you won't be able to attach a bayonet to it. But that doesn't really matter for me personally, because as you can see, mine is a Mossberg 500 Persuader, and even if you have the 590A1, as long as you don't attach a bayonet to it, you're fine. Otherwise, you will probably want to, look at a different way to put a light on it, like maybe the Magpul forend and attach a light on the side, or any of the other forends that have rails on them. The only real con to these is the price. These forends are usually around $400, so they're definitely not cheap. Luckily with mine, I got it for, $200, so I had to jump on the deal when I could get it. But $200, is definitely a good deal. And for $200, I'm really happy with it. For anyone who may think that $200 is too much for something like this, you really have to think about it. Because of this, if you were going to put a light on a shotgun, okay, without doing it this way, so getting a forend, getting a rail on there, and then getting a light to put on it and putting the light on there, you're going to have to add all that together. And, weigh the pros and cons. See what is important to you. Once again, if you can get a good deal on one of these, awesome. $400, you might be better off just doing the forend with a rail and then attaching a light to it. Like I said, I really like how you just squeeze it and it turns on, but I'm glad that I got such a good deal when I did. Another nice thing about this forend is you can still use a heat shield with this. So, if you're into that thing and you want to put a heat shield on your shotgun, then you can still put a heat shield on it. Now there are other forends as well that you can use with a heat shield, and they are railed. And you'll have to decide which one you want if you don't get this one, obviously. So that's pretty much it. I highly recommend one of these. If you can afford it, it's really nice. If you can get a good deal on one, it's even better. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll see you next video. See ya.